Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from relationship advice. Our first post is by Throwaway. I-24F read my 23M boyfriend's notes for comfort, and now I'm upset. A little less than a year ago, my boyfriend got into a pretty bad motorcycle accident. They weren't sure if he would survive. It was a day-by-day thing. I was by his side every single day. There was a period where he was on the verge of death. I read his notes. He keeps a bunch of notes because he's super disorganized, and writing things down helps him remember things. But they're always funny. If we have a grocery list, he makes up silly names or he draws bad milk. I wanted to hear his voice and his thoughts before he was taken from me. It wasn't planned out. His stuff was there, and I never had an urge to look at it before. But death does funny things to you. I regret reading it. I know it's my fault. But in the mess of notes was an essay about his thoughts and feelings. My boyfriend doesn't really like me. He felt obligated to date me because I had a crush on him and I asked him out. He would have felt bad if he rejected me. I'm a placeholder and he is still in love with his ex. There are pages and pages about her and how much he loved and loves her and how hard he took their breakup. I found out he would send her love letters and was romantic as hell for her. He changed himself entirely for her. I definitely can't and won't hold anything against him. It's his own private thoughts. I told him I read some of his notes and he cracked a joke. I don't know how to tell him I read his true feelings. I'm a little sad that I'm never the first choice, that I'm always the forgotten friend or the backup plan. My boyfriend and his family have thanked me for standing by his side. He's still in rehab right now, and he's getting much better. I'm helping him with a lot of things right now. His mom subtly said that she hoped I would marry him. I feel kind of numb. I'm not really depressed or angry at him. I just feel inadequate. I wish I was enough for someone to be that passionate about me. How do I tell him that I read his essay about his ex? And how do I say that he shouldn't feel obliged to stay with me just because I helped him? Our next post is by Throwaway. I-28F think I caused the end of my engagement with my 28M fiance. I need advice. Throwaway, because so far only my fiance and I know about this, and I don't want our friends or family involved. Well, I think only the two of us knows about our argument, but not so sure if he told them or not, as they are not answering me. This is a really messy situation, and I do apologize it. I start to ramble, my thoughts and emotions are all over the place, and I need advice. Again, going to friends or family is out of the question because I am not sure of how much they know. Me and my fiance have been together now for 4 years, engaged for 2. About a year ago, my father and his mother was caught having an affair. For some context, my mother died when I was 3 years old, and my father has never remarried but had a string of girlfriends over the years. My fiance's parents had been married for 30 years, until the affair was exposed. According to what we know, the affair lasted for about a year, and only started 6 months after we introduced our parents to each other. According to the text messages sent to us with a confession, my father is the one that persuaded his mother, and flirted with her first compliment signs if affection until his mother gave in. I am not making an excuse for my father's behavior. He is just as guilty for the affair as his mother is in the end. I do not condone or support what he did, but in the end, even though he did make a crappy decision to go after a married woman, he is still my father and will always be. This situation almost cost us our relationship, but we managed to work through it all. With the help of a therapist. She did explain and made us see that we were not responsible for the actions of 2 grown adults in the end, them being our parents or not. On to my reason for needing advice. I have always wanted since I can remember for my father to walk me down the aisle. That has been a dream of mine since I can remember. His mother is not invited to the wedding, as he wants nothing to do with her. Her cheating cost his father his life. He had a heart attack after everything came out, and she confessed. I do mean it when I say my fiance's father lived for his wife and children. My heart broke for my fiance and his family, not just for his loss, but that my father had a hand in it as well. The death of his father and him cutting off his mother all happened when we were in therapy, and again the therapist helped us to see the action of 2 grown adults wasn't our burden to bear in the end. Now again, I have always wanted my father to walk me down the aisle. I brought it up with my fiance and he looked at me in shock, asking me if I was seriously thinking of letting my piece of crap father even attend our wedding. He doesn't want my father near him or any of the other women in his family. I think he blocked me. All my calls are going straight to voicemail and my messages are unread. None of his friends knows where he is, or they do, and is not telling me. I called his brother and he laughed at me over the phone and hung up. I even called his mother, but since he cut her off, she hasn't heard from him as well. Nobody is giving me answers as to where he is or if he is even safe. I tried to file a missing person report, but police told me that is not possible, as my fiancé informed them that he is fine, not missing, and is just leaving. What am I supposed to do? The wedding is in 3 months, and I'm spiraling. I want him to come back to me. I need him. He is the love of my life. What can I do? No. Do any of you know how I might be able to reach him? I just want to talk to him. If he wants me to uninvite my father, I will. I will give up on the dream I have. I just want Daniel to come back to me. What can I do? Our next post is by No Artisan. I, 43M, found out my wife, 33M, is in over £10,000 of debt. What should I do? About 5 months ago, I noticed that my wife's spending habits had changed dramatically. After a lot of prodding, she told me that she had $6,000 of debt on credit cards. I could account for $4,000 that she spent on her flight and emergency accommodation when we were on holiday and our daughter got chickenpox. $2,000 was on accommodation that insurance covered. The other $2,000 on her flight that I said I would pay for. That's $4,000 in total. After querying the remaining $2,000, she admitted that she gambled the rest away. This pissed me off to no end. However, I told her I would give her $4,000, and she would have to sort the rest out herself. I then made sure she joined an organization that stops her from registering or gambling online. I thought this was the end of the matter. Last night, I was about to send her the $4,000 and take 2 of the 3 credit cards off her, so she couldn't get back into debt on them. When I asked her to show me all her balances and interest rates so she could use the $4,000 to clear the ones with the highest interest rates, this is when I found out she actually has $10,500 worth of debt. I'm absolutely fuming, not sure what to do. I have the money to clear it all for her, but on principle I don't think I should. Total debt is just north of £10,500. Upon coming home, when I asked her how she was spending her money, she then told me she actually has 4 credit cards. Now I have to mention that 2 years ago I gave her £5,000 to clear debt, and a further £2,000 to put in our daughter's saving account, which she spent. Edit, it gets better after further queries. She has a $10,000 loan, which she failed to mention till I told her I want to see her Experian report, FML. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.